question.
All right. We are live. It is going live in the stratosphere.
Okay.
Hello, live.
Hello.
Wait, are we live?
We are
We are,
live.
we are live.
Oh, hello.
How's everybody going? We're just giving people some time to meander in before we go live with our Extra Life seminar and Q&A regarding teams for Extra Life. So, how's everybody? Let's do like a little introduction of sorts, just to like maybe introduce ourselves and a little bit about ourselves. We should do that for every seminar. How about that? You know,
Yeah. If you're
just
on multiple seminars, you have to say a new interesting fact.
yeah, we got you. Ooh, okay,
It's like
yeah,
Jeopardy. It's like Jeopardy when you introduce yourself, and if you're a recurring champion, you just have to keep coming up with new ideas.
Like
yeah,
random facts.
Yeah.
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 Oh no.
Let's start, Nate.
Oh man, I don't know if I was the one talking about having random facts. I don't know if I have one ready.
I have
Uh,
one ready. Otherwise, I can go.
okay, yeah, you should go first.
Okay,
I'll think on one.
because this got brought up by my mom talking earlier. So hi, my name is Dave. David, I go by both. My pronouns are he, him. I guess we should also maybe just every time. This is my 14th year doing Extra Life. Um, so random fact about myself. In 1995,
Oh,
I
okay. We're
I
going
was
back.
yeah going way back.
We are going back to 95.
This
Simpler
came up
times.
because like I have an award for this, and my mom's like, "Oh, I kind of want to keep it for memorial, like keepsake." But I was the 1995 Blockbuster champion for playing Donkey Kong Country, and I did not own a Super Nintendo at the time. I just did that good.
Wow.
Yeah,
Did you say Blockbuster?
I
That
did,
also brought me back.
and
Do
it
you
gave me
remember Blockbuster?
for winning. I also got a year of free rentals on video games.
Oh,
That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, that's
I
my random.
remember Blockbuster being like a whole night. Like you would build your night around going to Blockbuster and picking out one movie to watch.
Yeah,
And having
we would
so many
usually
stories.
do like go to Blockbuster, the local uh, video video. Like we had a mom and pop. We had a couple of mom and pop stores near us. Um, so it would usually be like go rent something, and then we would usually. Oh, sorry, I had a little feedback there. And then like we treat ourselves to like pizza or something.
Simpler times.
Yeah. Okay, that was my random fact.
I have to think of one that's gaming related now.
I
I
mean,
think
you
I
don't
have
have
one.
to. It just
I
like
know.
it literally like I was at my mom's, and I was taking stuff that I had hung up there, and she's like, you could leave that Blockbuster award there. I was like, yeah,
Oh,
I'll get it later because I do like it. It's cute.
I have a like I guess it's a fact, but not really. It's a story and I've told it before
So
in
you
this
you can
theater.
introduce yourself with it.
Okay. So my name is Jackie. Pronouns are she, her. This is my second year doing Extra Life. I am the hospital liaison program director for Extra Life Chicago. Um, one of my first games I've ever played, video games, was Pokemon Blue. And I was so excited. I got blue and my brother got red. And I don't know if anyone played this on like the Game Boy Color, but in order to trade Pokemon, you needed to like have a physical cable connect them together to trade. And it was like this big deal before the internet.
Yep.
And I had a neighbor who got Mew. And
Oh.
it was like the biggest deal because Mew was the rarest at the time. And I think he had a crush on me. I don't know what, but he traded me Mew for like a Pikachu. And that got me all of the Pokemon 150, 151. And my brother was one behind me. He didn't have Mew. And so in the middle of the night that night, he came into my room and deleted my entire game.
Oh
And I lost
no.
all.
Oh,
So that's my fun fact story. Um,
oh,
That's
but
not very fun.
no, it's
That's
not.
sad.
It's not. It's not. But the only game I beat him in, and he didn't like it. So hi, Andrew. You're the worst.
I was like, if he was in here too, boy.
I know, right?
Incredible. All right. Great story. That made me want to change mine to also a different story, but I think I'm going to stick with my fact that I have. Hey everyone, I'm Nate. Pronouns are he, him. I go by half chicken, half steak on all things gaming related. Yeah, been doing Extra Life for 10 years now. Been part of the guild for 8 and on the advisory team for 6, maybe. Um, Excited to talk through Extra Life teams with you all. Before that, my fun fact. I'm going to make it a fun gaming fact as well, since everyone else is. When I was in, I think, middle school or early high school, my cousin and I were in a semi-pro, maybe it was pro. It was a very, very small community, but pro, like, capture the flag tank league, this game called BZ Flag. And we were like pretty well known by a lot of people. I don't even think we were that good. I think it's just because there weren't that many
Fine.
people,
I
but we
can't.
played a lot and tried to like get in the network. I think this was before I had cool gamer tags like half chicken, half steak, and I think it was like Master Yoda or something was my name. But I just did a Google and I was like, oh man, you can see old forum posts of me as a kid like on
Aw.
these things. Hilarious.
We need
But
screenshots of this in the Discord.
I think the game is quite dead, BZ Flag, but it was awesome. You were just tanks moving around and you would go yeah, it was essentially capture the flag. There's all sorts of powers and crazy stuff, before all the other cool shooters were around or other game types. So that's my fun fact.
Wow,
I've
claim to
only
fame,
gone
Nate.
downhill. Yeah.
Oh,
Back when I had time to
That's when you
really
peaked.
invest in gaming. Yeah.
you know what? You just need to find your niche. Like, give it some time and some practice. You could be a Pog champion.
That's
Bring
right.
back
That's right.
Pogs.
I that would be awesome. I wonder how much like if the Twitch streaming era was a thing back when I was younger, if I would have tried to convince my family to become a pro gamer, it probably would not have been good. Uh,
Yeah,
but yeah, that's my story.
cool. Well, I do see we have some people who came and joined us in the chat. So thank you everyone for hanging out. We just want to do some introductions, give everyone some time to join us tonight before we kicked off our first ever Extra Life seminar plus Q&A regarding this one, teams. Yeah, so Nate has wonderfully put together this awesome presentation that we want to share with you, talk a little bit about teams, our experience with teams, and how we can help you join a team, start a team, things like that. So, just to also let you know, I will be monitoring chat. I will try to respond as much as I can. But we will do like a Q&A session towards the end. So if you have questions, please hang on to them, save them for the end, and then I will read them. We'll try to address as much as we can. So
Yeah.
All right.
I think even during too, we can answer questions if it makes sense too. Dave.
Yeah,
So
I
we'll
will.
monitor chat.
It's more like if I can catch them as they come up, but specifically, definitely during that time at the end. But
sounds
yeah.
good. Thanks, Dave, and thanks everyone for joining today. I know that a few of you are probably Extra Life veterans, so some of this may be some basic 101 concepts. I think there's a couple tips and tricks in here as well for fundraising and recruiting that we'd like to share, and hopefully that's new and fresh. But for some of you that are newer to Extra Life, I hope this is pretty informative. There's teams and guilds and captains and all these other things of how Extra Life's organized. So I hope that this is helpful in talking through what that looks like And yeah, we want this to be fun and interactive and answer questions as we go. So feel free to put them in chat. There we go. So we're going to cover a lot of different topics here around teams. So first of all, a couple terms of how Extra Life is structured. We'll have a fun interactive portion called Myth or Fact. So we'll have a few, I guess, potentially phrases. I don't know the right word for this, but what you'll have to tell us whether it's a myth or fact. And then we'll talk about what some different types of teams are. If you're interested in leading a team, what captaining looks like, and then as well some ideas of fundraising to meeting your goals. Because ultimately, this is about fundraising for local children's hospitals and giving back. All right. So two terminology, two terms that you've probably heard: Extra Life teams, Extra Life guilds. And so this is an event put on by a guild, but there are the concept of teams when you sign up. Team specifically is a group of Extra Life gamers who are committed to a goal. So when you join a team, you have an individual goal. If you're a part of a team, there's also a team goal that the captain sets that you're trying to fundraise and hit. The leader of that is a captain who sets the name, what that goal should be, what the mission is, etc. Alternatively, there are guilds, and these two are not mutually exclusive. There are guild teams, so this is where it sometimes gets confusing, much like the Extra Life Chicago guild team. But a guild specifically is gamers that are tied to fundraising for a hospital, and that is led by a program director and a guild advisory team, such as Jackie, Dave, and myself that are on the call today. So
Mhm.
while you're thinking about this distinction between teams and guilds, let's get to the myths or facts. Let's see what chat thinks. So first of all, and I know there's a slight delay here, so I'll go a little slowly. You must be part of a team to participate in Extra Life. Myth or fact? What does chat think?
Hmm.
I know some of my thoughts back in the day.
Yeah, no one in chat. Not even one guess. Everyone a little scared.
Myth?
Define
Myth?
participate. Sign up. Like have a registration page.
Oh, there's everyone. Okay.
There we
There
go.
we
Yeah,
go.
I guess it.
Where
All right, that's
are
good to know. It's
people?
about a
We
minute
got them,
delay,
yeah.
so that's good. It's a myth. You can register individually. You do not have to be part of a team. I believe it's a setting when you join. So great job, everyone got it. Props. We should have had prizes. That would have been
Next time,
way
we'll
better.
get some
Alright,
prizes.
hold on. I'm also okay.
There we go. There we go.
I realized I was like, I'm sorry everyone if I realized like the video may have been blocking stuff.
We're learning.
Yeah.
All right, the next one here is all members of a team play for the same hospital. Myth or fact? We need the Jeopardy music while this is going.
I can do
Non-copywritten
it.
music here. This is free use stuff for the game.
We got a myth.
Chat saying myth. That is
Yep.
correct. Great job. I was alluding to this
Wow.
earlier. It is tied to the individual specifically. That's part of what the key distinction is between teams and guilds, is that a team can be comprised of different people raising for different hospitals, which is pretty great. All right, last one here. You can join and support any Extra Life team.
Non-copywritten music stuff. Gonna keep saying it
No.
over and over. Oh man, maybe that's some
coming in.
fact.
We got a fact.
We got a fact.
We
Is
got
this
a
our
fact.
first fact?
Do you think I would do that? Put only myths? Am I the type of person to do that? I did consider
Yes.
it, but it is a fact indeed. You can have a team of anyone and any size. That is a good question. I don't know if anyone knows if you can limit who can join.
You know what?
I think there is a limitation, but it's an absurd number. Like, we would never hit it.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah. I don't know about that because I do know there are these groups that are like mega teams,
Yeah.
like
Super
Rooster
teams.
Teeth,
Yeah.
kind of funny. What's good game? Like they're larger groups or communities. Um, oh, you may
Yeah, see,
oh
the
invite
things
only.
I'm learning too. This is the learn for everyone.
Thank you, Everfree.
Ah,
Uh,
yes. Yes, you can set a code and you can set an email invitation. So I'll change that before I send this out.
all
There you
right,
go. But you can look up any public team and join
that's
that. So there
that's
you go.
true.
There you go.
Hey, you know what? We fact checked ourselves before we have to make an update video about fact checking.
That's right. Well, yeah. Before we share it. Uh, we've lost all credibility to give the rest of this talk, I think.
That's not true.
I have never done
You're
that.
doing
I think
great.
that's a good call out. But I do know, yes, there are tons of public teams that you can join. I think it's really cool that you can support giant mega teams, or you can have just a small private team. I think that's a cool part of Extra Life. So I think that ties into. Oh, I think I lost my screen. There we go. Types of teams and common teams that we see. So I have four different sections here of ones that I've seen, that we've seen. There may be others as well. If people have ideas in the chat, feel free to bring up if you fit in a different category. But my team is actually a company team. I think that it's really interesting that you can bring fundraising to your work, to your day to day. There's a natural community that's there with people that are have a similar goal, right? Your coworkers for a reason, committed to your company. You can commit as a group to fundraise. There's also often donation matching that a lot of different companies have. So I would encourage you to look into if your company does that, if they do a donation match,
Mhm.
since that's a way to potentially double the funds that are coming in for Extra Life, which is awesome. So I think there's a way to check if your team can be matched. I was just looking at a site that does it. I may have to look into that for where it is, but that's the company section of this.
uh,
One that I was referring to earlier, some of the larger teams, community-based teams. So Rooster Teeth, I think, is the biggest example of this. Geek and Sundry used to have a team as well. Um, but different fandoms or stream teams. This is often for like-minded individuals, so people that really like D&D or a certain show or a certain game or a different community there. Maybe my pro BZ flag days, if it is still existed, I'd have a BZ flag extra life team. But that's the community based section here. Another team type, regional. This can be based off where you are. I know that one example of this is the Chicago Guild team. So people that are in Chicago fundraising for Luries. I think a lot of this allows for easy collaboration, easy in-person event planning, and like I mentioned, often tied to a hospital. So it's easier to get camaraderie and build teamwork there. And then the last one, this is a really common one, which is just I just want to have a team with my family and friends. I think people can be comfortable with uh, the groups that they already game with, the people that they already know. There's more accountability, I think, here as well. You can push each other, you can challenge each other. Um, just an easy way to, with loved ones, to do something you love. So,
yeah.
Dave, any other or Jackie, any other thoughts here to common team types?
Actually, I kind of have mine is tied to I've been in both. I've been in two different categories, maybe. So I found out about Extra Life through a podcast I used to watch. I think it was 2011 was the first time I saw it. So saw this podcast. They did a montage of their 24-hour Extra Life marathon, and basically once the forums shuttered down, me and some friends who met through the show in the forums, we basically started working together. We're like, hey, let's do Extra Life together. So we basically continued our fandom appreciation even after the show ended, with teams based on the fandom, or part of that community. Um, and then after some of them had, due to schedules and things like that, the team kind of fell apart. So then I wanted to create a team here for the guild so that for anyone who didn't quite have a team that they could be a part of in the area, that we were always a resource and a community that could help each other. So it's kind of like my ties to being like
Yeah.
ebbs and flows, and then bringing in friends and family to that guild team. So I feel like there's even that overlap. And the other thing I thought I'd mention is sometimes like if you work for a company and they don't have like specific matching or donor policies, like maybe just reach out to your HR department, see if they can offer something, or maybe do an email that they can share with coworkers, things like that, that might be able to at least be an internal way to help fundraise throughout your workplace.
Yeah.
That may not be specifically tied to like a benefit or things like that.
Yeah, I know mine, they often support like running events, so they give donations in that way, right? Like a space,
Yeah.
food or drink, right? Like that type of thing to help with fundraising. So I think that's a really cool angle. Just from hearing you talk about that, Dave, I think if anyone from Nationals listening, the option to have multiple teams would be awesome. Like if you have certain people that would help you fundraise for your fandom versus your guild versus whatever. Like, I don't know, maybe interesting.
Yeah.
That'd be a cool way to do it. Um, yeah, Adam, if you're listening, if anyone from Nationals listening, awesome.
Anything you want to add, Jackie?
I was just gonna say that donation matching can be done individually. It is not the easiest process. It's something that I am still learning, that I've had participants reach out to me about. So if it is something that you're interested in with a team at your company, or you work for a company and just want donation matching, you can also reach out to me and we can figure out the process together. Um, it's kind of convoluted and long, but it's definitely worth it because you get your donation double.
For sure. So you got the different types of teams. If you're interested in joining a team like this, but you don't know of one to join and you think, hey, I could take on the leadership role myself and I should just create the team and community that I want to create, would love to talk to you about becoming a captain. So, what it means to
Ooh.
lead a team. I think Dave and I are both captains of our team, so I know that there's just here some thoughts about what it means to lead a team, but I'm sure we can go for a little bit on some ideas for fundraising, recruiting, etc. But like I mentioned earlier, a captain essentially they set the name, the mission, the goal. Um, they're ultimately responsible for bringing people into the team, for continuing that bond and fundraising toward that goal. If you stay connected as a captain, there's different tools that you have across the website, across the mobile app as well. You can connect it to your text messages with Donor Drive. And this just helps you stay in the know of everything that's going on in your team. So I get a text when someone registers, so I can go check and reach out to them and say, hey, thanks for joining the team. Often, since it's my company team and we just post it in channels, it may be someone I don't know. So that gives me an opportunity to meet that person, get to know them, get to know why they're interested in fundraising. Donations as well, encouraging people, congratulating people as they're getting donations, building that optimism, that camaraderie, that excitement around the goal and the mission. And then events as well, as people are collaborating and talking, and often being the one to lead the events as the captain. One cool technique as well within Donor Drive for fundraising is setting shared incentives and goals. And so often there are incentives, milestones on the individual. You can do this at a team level as well. So hitting a certain goal, you could set something, and then once the team reaches that, send it out to the team. I think there's a way to do that specifically informally within the site. But ultimately, as a captain, you're an example to your team. So you're the one building the energy, you're the one building the excitement towards, again, based off those shared connections, whether it be fandom, company, regional, helping set what it means to lead a team and to bring people towards fundraising and your goal. I put some links in here as well for when I shared out of some 101 info and a handbook. But Dave, you've been a captain for a while. What other thoughts do you have here?
So I'm going to admit, something I wish I'd done before. I feel like I was just setting up the team to have it set up, but I feel like in the last year or so, just due to schedule and things, it's hard to stay on top of this. But I'm learning, and like things like this, I feel like is very helpful for being a captain. The one new thing I'm gonna try to do is use the tools in Donor Drive. As a team captain, you can send a message to everyone under the who's like on your roster.
Mhm.
Um, so there is a template that you can select. I think it's like send message to team or like team update. But you can change the message. So what I tried doing last year is when Extra Life would send out information about incentives. I think oh shoot, what was it? Might have been about the rug or some of the ones where it's just like it's a limited time fundraiser. My new goal for this year is to try to send more updates about limited time fundraising events. I'm gonna try to send videos like these, like links to the stuff we're working on. Just try to. I know like we have a Discord that we use, but also just like anyone who may not use the Discord as much, just try to keep them in the loop of what's going on in the overall Extra Life, and then also just trying to send. The one thing I have done over the years or try to do is sending like words of encouragement, saying thank you for continued support, thanking them for doing game day.
Yeah.
I feel like at least acknowledging the team overall and the wonderful work that they do is at least a thing you can do with what time you have. But it's something I'm personally always trying to work on. So it's like be open to growing and learning
Yeah.
and talking with your team when you can.
Yeah, for sure. It's one of those things where it's like you don't have to, like, you can always get better, right?
Yeah.
If you're doing this every year, you recreate the team, like you can always learn. And you don't have to be perfect as well. And then I think the other thing is you don't have to take it all yourself, right? Like I think ways you could reach out to your team and ask for help, ask for encouragement. You'll notice people as well wanting to take more responsibility on running with an event or coming up with ideas, right? And so that can scale as large as it needs to for whatever size your team is. So um, good thoughts for sure. I also realized that I'm the one pinned on the video, so we didn't get to see your face on
Yeah, I
stream as you
realize
were
like
talking. You gotta unpin me.
I don't know. No, it's whoever's talking, but it doesn't show me. So
Oh, you should
uh
just open up the fan again, so all three of us are
okay.
there.
I didn't want to block more text, You did a lot of work and I want to make sure that got highlighted.
Oh,
I, I don't think there'll be anything else on the left. I'm hoping there's
Okay.
not many slides left,
All right.
but appreciate that.
Yeah.
also, I feel like this is very basic 101 information, but when you're talking about a team, right, we're talking about setting one up through Donor Drive or Tiltify. So it's not like something you do on paper or like on Discord. It's like when you sign up, you click to be a you can click like
Create a team.
individual join a team or create a team. So if you wanted to create a team and be a captain, there is a section for you to do that in Donor Drive, as well as join a team. And I don't know, maybe one of you know that like when you click join a team, will it show different options for teams or
I, it's been a
I
while,
th-
but from what I remember when I used to join teams, you could do a search.
yes,
yeah,
you can
Um,
you can
you can do a
definitely
search.
search.
I just
Yeah.
clicked on it. Yeah.
yeah, it was either there was a whole list or you could start typing. The teams when I was on the fandom teams, we kept coming up with funny team names that were related to the show. So one of the sign
If
offs,
someone's searching for it, that's good. I like
yeah,
that a lot.
yeah. Well, I mean, we were on Twitter a lot, so we'd just be like, "Hey guys, new team name is this." So
Yeah, we need to get someone that's in marketing to like just give us all the top 10 buzzwords or something for a topic, and then you just make your team name that.
Yeah.
Or like find a way to make that
SEO.
searchable as you're searching. Yeah, SEO.
That's the team info we need here.
That's
Yeah.
right. See, more tips for national. This is how we
Exactly.
get people to
Nationals listening.
join
Yeah.
teams.
Yeah. Um,
Um,
uh,
I just clicked on find a team to join just to see what would happen, and the first team name is 127 corgis, and I'm here for it.
I really hope it's like a team full of 127 people that just have a pet corgi at least.
Yeah,
Like,
that would
Yeah.
be awesome. This goes again to the thing that like I would want to join that team if I had a corgi, right? Like,
and
why
use
can't I be in multiple?
and using
Uh,
numbers, it makes sure it kind of is one of the top pop-ups. Always depends. Like, does it start with A's or numerically when you get a list?
yeah,
Over?
numeric first, I guess, in the search. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also want to give you a shout out, Nate, for the Walt Whitman uh
Oh no,
reference.
Captain, my captain.
Yeah.
I think it's also in the handbook too. I put it in first, and then I looked at the handbook and saw it was "Oh Captain, my captain." Was like,
Is,
I
yeah,
know that.
is
I know it
anyone
looks like I stole it, but that's
does
okay.
anyone else feel like I know it because of I almost like the Dead Poets
Dead Poet
Society?
Dead Poet
Society. Yeah, that's
Society.
the.
Yeah.
I
That
almost
is
said,
a film. If anybody's not seen, this is totally derailing, but if no one has seen Dead Poet Society, watch it. You're welcome.
I haven't seen it, but
It's sad.
my brain almost
Trigger
said
warnings.
Goodwill Hunting. I'm like, I know it's a Robin
Yes.
Williams, but it's not that one.
Yes. I'm in the same boat as you, Dave. So we'll take Jackie's advice and watch it as soon as
Alright.
possible.
Uh,
All right,
next
captaining.
slide.
Yeah, next slide is hopefully where we can have a more open conversation on some of this as well. I threw a lot of ideas on the board
Yeah.
because I think just to have it all here captured, maybe it sparks something that someone that's listening or watching is interested in doing. But just wanted to give some categories of ideas to help fundraise. Again, this can be if you're a captain or not a captain, if you're just part of a team. Even individually, some of this may click as well with just your game group, your community, whoever you're fundraising with. So, first section here that I already mentioned, incentives. This is an easy way to set goals. So, a good strategy for people that want to hit a milestone, want to feel that sense of accomplishment, get to that certain level, both individually or within a team. I think a cool piece of this is that it can be at any time of year, like Dave mentioned earlier, with all the different challenges that National Extra Life does, tying something to that. I know there's a recruitment one at one point to try and get team recruitment. There's all the cool peripherals that Extra Life does. So use those to your advantage to help fundraise for sure, and set some structure around that. As I mentioned, this is just a good way to recognize teammates that are hitting those goals or achievements, and then send that word of encouragement or celebrate a person that hits those milestones. The second section here, this is one of my favorites because I'm a very competitive person, but setting some challenges around fundraising. One thing that I do within my team, some of this bottom section here, we do friendly wagers on who's going to be the winner. If we're playing a role playing game, you get a bad roll, you can say, "Oh, I'll donate to your page, the DM's page. I'll re-roll and get a new one there." Rule breaking donations is fun. I'm a big board game player, and so similar thing. You can, just tweak a rule to your advantage if you know, slide some some under the table money to someone's donation page. Um, I think this is a cool way, and I'm sure there's plenty more fun ideas that you can do. But I think challenges, easy way to build that camaraderie, that competition, a fun way to rival each other, but also, you know, build some accountability with your team of, we're trying to hit this goal. Let's think of some fun, creative ways to do it. And then the last one, I think a lot of people do this just naturally, since I think Extra Life also one of the big things we do is our game day. So events are just a big portion of how you can funnel your fundraising, build excitement with the collaboration and camaraderie of coming together with your team. Um, this has gotten much easier to do virtually as well with Zoom, Discord, Twitch, all the sorts of platforms, streaming kits to do something like this. Um, I would just encourage teams and people to leverage again what National has. So the 24-hour game day, or however you split that up or use it. Tabletop weekend, which I think is in April this year,
Yeah.
correct? Yeah,
Yeah.
tabletop weekend. The 100 days of gaming is another big one, which is before game day. Do a game every day, the 100 days leading up to game day. Use holidays. That's a big one that we do within the guild for different stream activities. I don't know, Jackie, Dave, what else? What else are you thinking? Either in these categories or other ideas.
Yeah, if you have a personal day, right, that's linked to Lurie Children's, so for whatever reason, a lot of people like to do their streams or their charity board game nights around that. But really, if there's just like a day that works well for you because you have it off, or it's part of your PTO, that works too. Like the beauty of Extra Life is that it's extremely flexible. And yes, we have game day and we love game day, but we also need fundraising year round. And it tends to be really slow between January and July, August, September. So if you have days, within those months as well, those are also really appreciated.
I could probably comment on quite a few things. um, so
Go for it. Let's start the conversation.
sure. Incentives. One thing you can do, at least what I've done on a personal thing is like, if I guess this would fall under incentive and challenge maybe, but like reaching a certain goal and then you know having a themed stream. So, for example, this person will be unnamed, but someone who was a part of our guild said, like, if we reached a goal of a certain amount one year, we would have a Mario Kart themed stream where they dressed up as Toad. We are still owed that.
I know who this is.
I'm putting this. I'm putting this out into the
I
ether.
also know who this is. Yes, this is
But
recorded for eternity.
this could be an incentive and a challenge. We will collect on this. But you could also do. There's a couple of things kind of reading this and getting ideas, and this may tie back into captains, but one thing I'd recommend, like if you're on a team and you see like someone's having a hard time raising money, like one thing I try to do is when I could financially afford it was like $5 Fridays. I would usually donate to
Yes, really good.
$5 to myself to help my own page, and then $5 to someone else. And a lot of times I would look at people on my team and donate $5 to anyone who had $0 still. Because I feel like, especially just starting out, getting the donations coming feels like it can be a challenge. And you never know where it may come from. So like, just something to think about as an incentive. Maybe you could have like, maybe every Friday the team could help the person who's lower down. Everyone just
Mhm.
donates $1 or whatever to help raise them up, and then hopefully it'll continue to drive them to different placements so you can donate to other people. Um, oh my gosh, I had a bunch of different things I was going to say about these different things. But
That's a good one though, and like stream rating too, right? Like
yeah.
if someone is streaming and it's all kind of goes back to like that encouragement, right? Like if I like your idea, if someone is struggling with fundraising or as captain, like having that accountability or ownership of looking at, who you want to help out, who you want to encourage. And then, yeah, if you see people streaming, like join their stream, encourage them,
Yeah.
throw them a couple of dollars, right? Like coffee, the old analogy
Yeah.
of, give up your coffee for the day, right?
Or
Um,
sometimes I say like donations. It was a feed in the jar a little bit. Is like just having a little seed money to help it grow.
Yeah, exactly.
But then tying in to events and challenges, I was thinking, um, what me and some friends will do is uh, we do Civilization 6 game nights. So we do an online Civ 6 kind of quick tournament. Basically, whoever's at the top, my friend will donate to their page, like, I think like $50 to whoever's in first place. And then he generously donates like $5 to everybody else because he can, and he's very awesome about that. But you could set up something where it's like, if you have a team, you could set up something like Mario Kart tournament, you know, do best out of 3 rounds or whatever. Whoever has the most points after so much, everyone donate to first place like $5 for that night. So you could set it up as an event and a challenge. And then kind of touching upon what Jackie said about fundraising doesn't have to necessarily be on game day. Um, Something I like to let people know, I've done streams on my birthday, which is in October, and I do them as like Halloween horror theme sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So Resident Evil, things like that. So you could set up like an event like that where it's like tied to time of year or the theme, like you mentioned, board game or tabletop weekend, things like that.
Yeah.
And then also, I let people know a lot of people do fundraise on game day. So if you want to this is just like a little tip from years of doing this. Doing it on a different day can kind of make you stand out a little bit. Just something I like to share that, and then you can also support everyone who is streaming on game day. So
Yeah.
tip of someone who's been doing this for a little bit.
Yeah, I think a few things stick out there too, just from like hearing the reactions. Like even non-game related events. Like I was just at, or we had a Super Bowl party yesterday, and something like, oh, I could have done Super Bowl squares
Yeah,
or like bets or something
Mm-hmm.
that could have just went to Extra Life, right?
yeah.
Like just thinking of creative things outside of the box there. One thing that's not on here that your conversation made me think about too, Dave, was the Facebook connection,
Mm,
like connecting your page to a Facebook fundraiser. I know that I've just shared it on random days or random events and like gets a ton of traffic if it's just in a feed, and
yeah.
it's top of mind, and coming up with different reasons as to why is more personal, right? In a lot of ways than just doing it on the game day could be. So whatever works for you, I think that's what this is all about, in encouraging your teams to do that also.
Yeah, and there's always going to be trial and error, right? There are going to be things that you think are going to be good ideas and they're not going to work, right? And then there are going to be things you never thought would be a good idea and they really take off. So I think that it's really important to remember to not get frustrated. Well, no, never mind. You can express your emotions. Like it's okay to get frustrated. Sorry. But to know that like it's all about peer to peer is all about like what sticks, and sometimes things are going to stick and sometimes things are not going to stick. So I think like the best advice that I can give is just like write down all of your ideas and kind of just start trying them, and you never know what will work until you do,
Yeah.
which is not related just to teams, but
Yeah. I think a lot of what we're kind of saying is applicable to teams, but also individuals.
Yeah.
Um, I'm seeing some great stuff. I see mention of making homemade cookies and loaves. I
that's a great idea.
I commented in chat. Someone from our guild did do a bake sale one year for donations and basically did batch cookies, and they were delicious. And then they shipped them out to those who donated. So
It's a
I
great
think
idea.
the awesome part about Extra Life is like you can create your fundraising ideas around different things. If you craft, I will share something that I'm kind of toying the idea of is donations to be a part of a TTRPG session where I will run a one shot to donors. I might create an incentive for a donation where you could donate for me to run a whole table for a group or just buy in for seats for a set date. So
It's
use
awesome.
some of your skills, some of your
Yeah.
hobbies, random things, and yeah.
That makes me think of and to tie it to teams a little bit here, but like ways to recruit, right? As part of this too, like people that have certain skills that are part of your community, if even if they're not part of your team, or they are, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, have you considered making your own page, right? And sharing your skill or setting this as an incentive if you're a good baker or a musician or let's bring it back to poets. I think I have an incentive from last year that I still need to pay out of writing haikus for people. But like, you can encourage other people to come up with their own pages. These fundraising ideas don't just need to be for you, right? Like they're partially to inspire others and help recruit within your teams.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
cool.
Um,
Uh I think that we're nearing the end. If you need a team, Dave,
yeah.
I think we already pitched this,
Let
but
me
let's put on your recruiting hat, and we're talking best recruiting strategies here. How are you going to recruit people to join your team, the Extra Life Chicago Guild team?
funny enough, I will put a link to our team in the chat. So if you want to look us up, our team name is the Extra Life Chicago Guild. I'm working on becoming a better captain every year. Always open to suggestions.
You're a great
open
captain, Dave.
Oh,
Yes,
thank you.
great captain.
I do. I'm usually the other thing we were talking about earlier about like being a captain leader. I do try to make myself available. So in some of the messages I send to my team, I do give them my email. So if they want to reach out to me, because I think for part of the reasons, like it doesn't give you a full list, it'll just give you the names, I think, of the people you can send messages to, depending on how they donated or things like that. But I try to make myself available. I can be found in Discord on the Extra Life Chicago server, which I think there's a link in. I'm working on it. Working
Get
on
the
it.
link tree.
Yeah, I need to set that up. We're still building it out. But
Oh, it exists.
So yeah, you can join us when you create your team. You can look for the Extra Life Chicago Guild. If you have a page and you haven't joined a team, you can join after you've set up your. Basically, after you set up your page, you can join a team after the fact. Trying to remember all the other details about it. I believe if you are on a team and you want to switch teams, you might have to reach out to support, which I believe the email address is support@extra-life.org. That I do remember.
I know if you change captains, you definitely have to go through support. I think you can change if you're not a captain.
Yeah,
pretty freely.
It's been a while, and they keep changing some of these things. Like one thing I also say is like the experience of the website and things like that have greatly improved since I started.
Yes, yes, for sure.
So yeah, please feel free to join us. You can reach out to us on the Discord server, on our social medias. When we're streaming, reach out to the streamer. We can at least share resources if we can, or direct communication. So yeah, there is our team right there. There are many teams.
I think we should do an event for the Extra Life Chicago Guild team.
We are.
That would be fun.
Oh, hey, do you want me to plug an event coming up?
Yeah.
Do it. I'm
March
not
10th.
invited, so
Mario Day.
Not my team. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, we're gonna do a Mario Kart stream, which I believe I will stream it on the channel here. And we're opening up to the guild, so we are working on the time, but it'll be March 10th.
Nice.
You know that.
Love it.
If that's what you mean, we got something.
Yeah, that was like it was planned. That was like a scripted setup by Jackie.
You put the ball on the tee, and I just
yeah, I have no events planned.
I did that for you, Dave. I did it on purpose.
Yeah. Hey, do you see me riding along? I'm on a Segway. I've got a lot of these dumb jokes.
Amazing.
I do
Wow.
have to say that I really think we did touch upon like the core of teams very briefly in the last slide around really just having a community with an extra life and having people who are there to build you up and help you and support you and build camaraderie. So if you're not part of a team and you do want to be part of a team, I'm gonna plug the guild again. But those charity streams, they get long, and like there are just like times where it's really great to have people who are like in your corner and cheering you on and knowing what you're doing and excited for you. And a team for Extra Life is just like such a lovely way of kind of like interweaving that um, community with Extra Life as a whole. So um, teams are good and they're fun, and
Teams are great. Yeah.
yeah, be part of ours.
And if anyone has questions, please, we've got a few more minutes.
Oh
Happy to
yes,
take any
Yes.
questions you got.
that's part of this. That's in the
Yes.
title. It's questions.
No.
We already had one question earlier, which we answered by learning. Hey, you know what? We're grown. We're learning. We're with y'all.
We're being better captains and advisors as we
Yeah.
go. I think one thing that we didn't touch on as much, I'll ask a question to the group here as we wait for other people to type questions if they have them. Top recruiting tips, Dave. I know we talked about like reaching out to your company to like email. Like how I know that the barrier is a lot harder for people to have their own page. What's your pitch? I know we have pitches when we do like cons as well, but what's your best pitch?
Well, for me, I've recruited friends in the past, actually friends and family. So this kind of also ties into, like you mentioned, events, because I've been doing them as Friendsgiving the last few years now. I started out doing Extra Life as a potluck marathon for 24 hours, so friends and family would bring food over, we'd game together, we basically everyone would come through, hang out whenever they could, play games. And then over the years, friends and family would join me and actually started fundraising. So I think part of it is like having them see what you do is a great way for them to be like, oh, this is cool. And plus the fact that they were already kind of there by proximity, they're like, well, I'm here anyways. I could just start fundraising. Word of mouth.
We love that.
Yeah, that's great.
That's like the ultimate goal, yeah.
Yeah, and then like what I say at conventions a lot and things like that is like I video game, I play games, I play board games, I play RPGs. Like I'm gonna be playing the games. I might as well do it for a good cause while I'm at it. So, and then also people having their why.
Yeah.
I think making it personal of why you do it, either because you just want to make the world a little bit better. I've learned over the years of many friends and family who have been impacted by Lurie Children's, which used to be Chicago Children's Memorial Hospital. So I have my personal story of why I do it and continue to do it and foresee continuing to do it. That's
Awesome.
some of my recruiting tactics, if you would.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
great. The why's a really, really good one, and I think it's easy to forget sometimes because a lot of times it's just like, oh, gaming, fun, like community, all that types of stuff. But
Yeah.
ultimately, it's the goal and the mission. I like to use that as well and part of my recruiting pitch is just like the and one, right? Like, sure, you can just donate to my page, but imagine if you had a page and it reaches one more person, right? Like that's all it is, right? That's one extra person, a few extra bucks, right? Like that's all going to get aggregated. If everyone's a +1, right?
Yeah.
Like what you're raising towards your goal, your network, your reach is just so much bigger and higher. So like it takes a minute to sign up, if even, right? I think
Yeah, not
use
even.
that. Yeah, not even. Other than getting through the questionnaire, unless you're trying to find a cool team like 127
And 27
corgis.
corgis,
Yeah,
yeah.
that one's easy to find. It's the first one, but Yeah, I think that's my main recruiting pitch. Jackie, what's yours from the PD perspective?
Yeah, I would say asking people individually is my number one. Like you can make social media posts, you can ask to like the internet, but I think what's really most impactful is like reaching out to somebody who you think would be really interested and say, "Hey, like I would love to have you do this with me," and making it personal. I think, like you said, explaining the why, obviously, like bringing it back to Lurie Children's and the mission is really impactful when you're doing that pitch. But first and foremost, like identify the people that you would want to do this with and then ask them personally would be my number one recruiting tip.
Yeah.
Super good.
There was something I was gonna say, and now I blanked and forgot what I was gonna say.
It's the end of the night on a
Yeah.
Monday. It's okay.
It's
Yeah.
been a long day. I think we all kind of said great points. I don't think really. I guess another point I was gonna say, and things maybe this could be for another seminar, but some people I've heard just a kind of like actually going more back to the myth fact actually might be a better way. Some people have told me like, well, I don't think I can stay up for 24 hours, or that day doesn't work for me. I let them know, that's okay. Due to my work schedule for many years, I couldn't do game day. I did a game day weekend, but I did it the Friday, Saturday because I always had to work overnights on Sunday. There was like no getting around that for me. So I would do that. And now that it's getting a little bit harder to stay up for 24 hours straight, I do 2 days back to back of like 13 and 12. I do try to do the 25 hours because Extra Life tends to do game day on daylight savings.
Of course.
So
it's like part of a bit now. Like they just have to do it's
yeah.
just like
but I at
least
least know what day it'll be because it's that first Saturday of November.
That's right.
So there's one thing. The other thing I hear sometimes from people at conventions and they're like, I don't think I could raise that much money. And I put things into perspective of every dollar you raise is that much more that wasn't there before. But then this could also go into recruiting. So say like I could maybe raise $20. I'm like, okay. If you could raise $20, but if you have another friend who could raise $20, that's $40.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you get a team together and everyone raises $20, that's 5 people, you got 100. 10 people, you got 2, so on and so forth. So, it kind of like a little bit of like the snowball effect or just growing by numbers. It's like it may seem small, but the more people who do it, it adds up. So
it really does. Every dollar counts.
And
every cent counts.
Yeah, and I even use that for when people say like I can't donate much. I'm like, look, I know there's some facts and figures we've been given over the past of like just how much like even a small amount of money can make a difference for a child who needs the care. So those are just a few things, and I could probably keep going in more things, but
we could go.
We could go longer.
For a while, but that's why there's going to be another seminar.
Yeah,
that's right.
When is it going to be, Nate?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to give the next one.
It's
April.
If people have, I think it's April. I think we're going to do these every other month. If people have thoughts, feedback on how these went, again, this is our first one. Part of the reason we're doing this is to just build the resources. So again, a lot of this may be basic 101, but we're recording it so that people can reference, new members can look back and learn. If you have ideas for topics, put them in chat. We'd love to hear some thoughts about what the community is looking for us to talk about.
We're working on either the 8th or the 15th of April. Our tentative topic right now is kind of board games and tabletop.
That's right.
Because it is tabletop weekend that month, and we'll probably orient it around tabletop gaming, board gaming, and Extra Life / fundraising. So we please follow us on all the social medias. I think I can put I know some of it is in our panels. Oh shoot, I'll figure it out. I broke it.
Yeah, I think we forgot all our commands.
Yeah, I'm still working on them, but a lot of them are in the panels, in the about section on the channel. Um, we got Facebook, we got Twitter, we have Discord. Discord's probably
Mm-hmm.
the best place to stay up to date.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you sign up for Extra Life and select Lurie Children's as your hospital here in Illinois, you will get our email
Is that where we are?
communications, right?
Yes, that
Yeah.
is correct.
Email
Oh yes,
communications, yes.
yes, the
Updates,
communicator. Yes,
yes.
the ones that
Okay,
I
the
write.
team.
Yeah,
That
I was
you
like,
write.
which ones? Yeah.
Um,
That is true.
yeah.
All right, this was
So
great.
yeah, we'll
Awesome.
end stream here. Once we have this uploaded to YouTube, we are just getting our YouTube up now. Uh, if you missed it or want to rewatch it or share it with your team, like I plan to, we'll have that information on our social media channels and such. So once again, I want to thank Nate and Jackie for joining, and really Nate leading the charge on this one. We will be back in April. Stay tuned for more social media updates, events. Find us at cons, all that good stuff. Everyone, have a
We'll be
wonderful.
around.
We'll be around.
We'll
Everyone,
be
have a
around.
wonderful night. We'll be back
Thanks,
soon.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.